If you're loving this podcast, be sure to check out the full lineup. From news and local politics to sports and true crime. Find your next great listen right now at duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts. That's duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Friday, September 22nd. I'm Wyatt Buckner, the Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
It's Friday, and if you're looking for ideas for some fun things to do this weekend, Duluth News Tribune arts and entertainment reporter Jay Gabler has some options in this week's Best Bets.
Books and beverages have taken the Best Bets spotlight in recent weeks, but this edition is all about music, at least on the podcast. Tonight, at Warrior Brewing in Lincoln Park, there's a benefit concert for the Duluth Armory. If you've been reading the Duluth News Tribune, you know that huge renovation project is getting closer and closer to being ready to go, but they're not quite there yet. They still need some more money, and to that end, Warrior Brewing has created a special IPA in support of the Armory project. They'll be launching it tonight with a concert at their Lincoln Park tap room, supporting the Armory and featuring some musicians from the 60s who played the Armory back when it was an entertainment venue, even before the deck opened. That's tonight at Warrior Brewing in Lincoln Park, Duluth. And tomorrow, we've got events for you on both sides of the river, the harbor, the point of the lake, however you want to define the bodies of water that lay between Duluth and Superior. Here on the Duluth side, at Sacred Heart Music Center, there is a tribute concert. It's one of the Duluth Does series with local musicians paying tribute to musical greats. In this case, it's the Trio. Now, you might not know who that is, but you've probably heard the names of the members of this supergroup: Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris. They got together in 1987 after having wanted for a long time to record together, and they recorded a classic LP called Trio. They got back together a dozen years later and followed it in 99. And tomorrow night, Saturday, at Sacred Heart Music Center here in Duluth, all sorts of local artists will be paying tribute not just to songs that the women recorded together on those two albums, but to songs from each of their solo catalogs, which means there are a lot of really incredible songs for these artists to choose from. That'll be tomorrow night, Saturday, at Sacred Heart here in Duluth. And over in Superior, one of the best rock shows of the fall. Listen to this triple bill. Headliners are Kiss the Tiger, incredible rock band from Minneapolis. Opening for Kiss the Tiger are Emma Jean, who you recall is a former Duluthian, won the first ever Palomino grant from Trampled by Turtles last year, is now based in the Twin Cities, but coming back to her old stomping grounds. And opener Lila Abukadere, one of the most exciting young rock stars coming out of the Duluth Superior scene. So that is an incredible lineup. That is at Earthrider Brewing tomorrow night, Saturday in Superior. For more information on these and other best bets, check out duluthnewstribune.com. I'm Jay Gabler.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. Duluth Mayor Emily Larson announced on Wednesday the formation of the Indoor Athletics Venues Task Force to draft a set of recommendations intended to help the city meet its needs for quality, accessible athletic venues. The mayor said the discussion has been ongoing for years. During her announcement at Freiburger Arena on Wednesday, Larson introduced Todd Fedora as the chair of the task force that will deliver its findings to the City Council on September 30th, 2024. Fedora is a lifelong Duluth resident and served on the city council from 2007 to 2011. He pointed to the condition of Freiburg Arena, one of the only rinks in Minnesota still using a sand floor, as emblematic of the city's need for improvement and expansion of athletic opportunities for everyone. Fedora said the task force won't just focus on opportunities for kids, but also on what he called weekend warriors and older adults looking for a safe place to walk in the winter. Earlier this year, the Minnesota legislature extended the city's 0.5% sales tax to fund a portion of the construction costs. About 2 weeks ago, Larson announced a 10-year, four-phase plan to invest in athletic facilities and fields across the city. For more information or to apply to be a member of the task force, go to duluthnm.gov/mayor/indoors-athletics-venues-task-force. Applications will be accepted until 4:30 p.m. October 6th, with members announced in mid-October. After meeting for over an hour in closed session with staff and legal counsel, members of the Minnesota Environmental Quality Board voted 10-1 Wednesday not to intervene in an appeal of the Duluth City Council's decision to support plans to build a controversial hotel. A group of citizens has challenged the city's reversal of a previous decision by the Duluth Planning Commission to require the developer, Kinseth Hospitality, to complete an environmental assessment worksheet before commencing work on the project. Opponents have cited the impact the development will have on wetlands and neighboring Miller Creek, a designated trout stream that's already considered an impaired waterway. About 250 people signed a petition calling for a greater review of the $18 million project. Kinseth, based in Coralville, Iowa, intends to erect a 100-room, 4-story hotel across from Kohl's at the corner of West Page Street and Sunbee Road. Mark Pylon, an attorney representing Kinseth, estimated an environmental assessment worksheet would cost his client $50,000 to $55,000 and would push back the project timeline by 8 to 10 months. In June, the City Council agreed to grant a legal stay, suspending work on the site until the case could be considered by the Minnesota Court of Appeals. But the stay was predicated on the project opponent's ability to post a $1.6 million bond to pay the developer for the cost of construction delays in the event that Kinseth prevails in court. Concerned citizens had until July 10th to raise the money, but they were unable to do so, and the developer has since pushed ahead with clearing and preparing the site for construction. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the News Tribune's Northlandia podcast.
Weather for the Duluth area today, looking at some dense fog possibilities in the morning, otherwise overcast skies and breezy with chances of showers in the afternoon, high temperatures in the upper 60s. Rain chances continue into this weekend, as well as that wind coming in from the east, high temperatures in the mid-60s, drier weather as we head into Monday. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to the Northlandia podcast for their support. The weekly podcast explores curious and unique stories here in the Northland. The latest episode looks into the Mesabi Iron Range's last standing headframe and the efforts to preserve it. You can find all the episodes of Northlandia on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Jamie Malcolm, Peter Passy, and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday.